There's a work of art in the sky this summer, the most colorful airship you've ever seen.
The tower's surface area is 3 times the size of the Sistine Chapel ceiling and is 14 feet taller than the Statue of Liberty.
Look at that airplane.
We just gave a presentation at a national conference on art and therapy at Stanford University.
末には児童を対象にしたアートセラピー。
Now, has this been approved?
There's several projects that we'll be working in New York.
We are unleashing the creative power and civic pride of New Yorkers for what is one of the biggest volunteer efforts that our city has ever seen. It is called Garden in Transit.
It is the brainchild of brothers Ed and Bernie Massey. They were one of thousands in attendance during yesterday's dedication.
To give you an idea of how incredible this project is.
It's a public art project like no other.
のモニュメントが設置されました。
Ya después de los 18 años, está en una condición muy mal.
Now, the inspiring story of kids making a lasting impression.
Thousands of Project 9865 children will create the largest monument in the West.
This is a shoe brush for children who can't manipulate a paintbrush in their hand. So they get into the sneaker or the tennis shoe, we put paint on the ground, and they paint wonderfully well. In fact, the children that have their healthy painting hands all want to get into the shoe brush as well.
That's amazing.
Terrific idea.
If you or your kids would like to participate in Project 9865.
Today, the children at Stanford Hospital had their turn.
35,000 volunteers will have put their mark all over it. Stephanie Bowen, CNN Newsroom.
This historic undertaking was painted by thousands of children battling cancer, blood disorders, heart ailments, burn trauma, chronic illness, and other serious conditions from hospitals all around the United States.
Well, Ed Massey came up with the idea. His organization is called Portraits of Hope, and he is joining us from the site of the Wright Brothers celebration today in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina.
This is for them perhaps the first time in their life that they've been actually engaged in a historical event and something that the whole world can point to with pride and say, hey, those children did that.
So you guys think big. A plane wasn't enough. You had to go for a blimp.
The larger the canvas, the better it is.
This program is about dreaming big, thinking big, and going out and achieving big.
I want to be a doctor. I want to be a family therapist. When I grow up, I want to be a superstar.
Big hopes from little kids, all inspired by a display of dreams cast in red, blue, and green. The Soaring Dreams airship was also co-created, painted, and signed by kids.
Former NASA astronaut Sally Ride is unveiling the world's largest airborne public art project.
I really liked this project because it speaks to the kids. It really makes the kids part of a community, and it makes them see that the things that they can do can make a difference.
Our fantastic aerial views are provided by the AmeriQuest Soaring Dreams airship.
Bob, you want to talk about the AmeriQuest airship that we've been seeing floating around here. And Bob, why is AmeriQuest teaming with Portraits of Hope for the project?
Portrait of Hope is the group that actually had this idea. They've done other works of art across the country and across the world, as a matter of fact.
And Carl Edwards made a visit to Tennessee High today. He's going to be a guest teacher. He talked about current events and government issues. Edwards will race a special Portrait of Hope car at Bristol's Bush Race.
To have this paint scheme is pretty neat. I hate that they brought it to Bristol because it's likely to not look like that after a few laps, but it should be a great paint scheme, and the program seems to be an unbelievable thing for these children.
It's the concept of Bernie Massey and crew.
We're given these little blank white boxes, and we're supposed to turn them into a social issue.
I think that diversity is a really important issue.
These are people or things that might be excluded for how they look. Nobody would really go talk to them or anything. But then inside, I made like really nice, just like a nice person, like symbolizing a nice person. So like you never know how a person will really be until you meet them and talk to them.
We're going to break up the $100 bill. We're going to pretend we're like the head of state or like the president. We've got to budget out this money for these different issues.
I chose children's rights because sometimes they don't have a voice, and there's a lot of issues in New York City and in America about child's care, after-school care.
My social issue is to save the forest.
I could never have imagined all the issues that have come up with some of these boxes. Everything from serious things, save the earth, to cell phones. There are too many cell phones in the world. And I like that because it suggests that there's no right or wrong answer here. And again, that's something that too often school is about.